out there, no dress codes, no invites, no worries at this party. So come join us for a taste of Jamaica.
We welcome you to Championship Monday here at the 2022 USA Ultimate College National Championships. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the women's final features the top two seeds coming in. Colorado Quandary and North Carolina Pleiades. The UNC women going for their second straight title. And Colorado, after the win over Carleton in semis yesterday, looking for their first national title in women's ultimate. What a matchup this is going to be. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Milwaukee. Evan Lepler with Megan Tormey. Ian Toner down on the field in just a bit. Back-to-back championships would be really special for UNC, but Colorado is a team that plays a very different style, and they are confident they can give the favorite from Chapel Hill one heck of a game.
Absolutely. They're very proud of their program, too, and they feel that they can out-grit any team here, UNC being no exception.
Well, this Colorado program made the finals 4 years ago, right here at the same venue in Milwaukee. This year, they're probably a little bit deeper than they were then. Similar coaching staff. Claire Chastain, Christina Mickle have been involved for a while. This year, they have an Olympian leading the team. Stacy Gaskill finished 7th in the women's snowboard cross in Beijing. She's clearly a two-sport star, and she's special on the ultimate field, Megan.
Absolutely. You would not be surprised at all to see the numbers she puts up, given her elite athleticism. She has an uncanny ability to open up the field with her powerful throws and just take over games whenever Colorado needs her to.
Today will be her and Quandary's toughest test of the tournament, though, without a doubt, because what UNC Pleiades has done over the past couple of years in women's ultimate is basically unheard of. It's been 841 days since they last lost a game in February of 2020. They're a perfect undefeated record this year heading into the finals, and they've got the Callahan Award winner, which is virtually the Heisman Trophy of ultimate. Dawn Colton, she'll probably match up a good bit with Stacy Gaskill today.
And that is the matchup we are all excited for. Dawn Colton, no stranger to big D's herself. And Colton's so fast, she makes the rest of the world look slow. She uses her speed to get open long for her team, but she's also quick and agile and so capable of getting open aggressively in tight spaces. Doesn't matter where she is on the field, she's going to make a play.
Colton, a strong performance in the semifinal win over UC Santa Barbara yesterday, but this is a deep Carolina team that is looking for its second straight title. 2 months ago, Colorado and UNC met in the final at Northwest Challenge. It was a 15-14 thriller to UNC, hoping for a great one today.
The 2022 USA Ultimate College Championships are presented by Discraft, home of the UltraStar, the official disc of USA Ultimate, your place for all your ultimate and disc golf needs. Visit discraft.com. We make flying discs fun. And by Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com.
It's a hot Memorial Day Monday here in Milwaukee. The starting lineup for Colorado Quandary features Abby Galach, the young U20 national team member. She'll throw a lot of goals. Cleo Phillips, an important cutter. And it's good to see Megan Kenny back in the lineup after the injury suffered yesterday. For North Carolina Pleiades, Ella Youngst is featured. Guaranteed to see her in the end zone more than a few times, but Alex Barnett has really become an unbelievable quarterback for this offense. And oh yeah, there's Ann Worth, former Callahan Award winner. She's still on the team, and she'll probably score some goals too. Let's bring in the third member of our broadcast crew today. Down on the field, it's Ian Toner.
Thanks so much, Evan. I want to take you and everybody inside just how committed to greatness Dawn Colton and her Pleiades team is. Let's go back to Saturday afternoon here at pool play. The Pleiades squad had already locked up a bye into quarterfinals. It was 3-0. Now, some coaches and players might rest or taper playing time in that scenario, but Dawn Colton told me her team had set a goal to beat Georgia by as wide a margin as possible after Georgia gave UNC its toughest test back at the December National Championships. So even with a multi-break lead against Georgia, Colton was still playing multiple defensive points in a row and giving detailed defensive instruction to all of her teammates. It's really moments like those, Evan, that are just emblematic of the culture Colton and Pleiades have built over these last few seasons.
It's really impressive to watch North Carolina go about its business. They approach this sport with such focus and discipline. And that's not to say that Colorado isn't a great team too, because they're here in the finals and they're uber talented, but there's a different mentality from one sideline to the other.
Yeah, it is fascinating to watch, and it'll be extremely exciting in today's game to see the contrast of playing styles. Both programs incredibly strong. UNC has a different ethos that has been curious to watch continue to be successful over the last couple years.
We are underway in the 2022 women's final. Stacey Gaskill's pull into the wind. Allie Younks makes the first cut underneath. Here's Alex Barnett. She threw the game-winning score yesterday on a deep shot. It was a downwind deep shot, really the only downwind deep shot we saw Carolina take in their semifinal win over UC Santa Barbara. A game in which Pleiades only turned the disc over 9 times. Colorado had about 3 times that many giveaways in their semifinal win. How about that catch by Youngst into the red zone for Carolina? Will it be another Carolina coronation today here in Milwaukee? The Dark Side men going for their second straight title as well later today against Brown. It's a phenomenal start for Pleiades. Ann Worth, the 2020 Callahan winner, dishes the score. And a clean opening hold for UNC.
You know, you mentioned the number of turnovers that Colorado had versus the number of turnovers UNC had in their semifinal games. Overall, the tournament, that has been an interesting dynamic between the two of them. UNC has had 113 turnovers this entire tournament. Colorado, 151. Now, granted, the two teams have played a different number of points. You might argue that Colorado was in a slightly more challenging pool, but all the same, it does contrast the type of playing style both teams are looking for. That offensive possession from UNC, so clean and crisp. Colorado is really hoping the strength of their individual defenders will unsettle them a little bit, generating some opportunities for them to notch breaks against a UNC squad that is very difficult to break.
No nerves on that opening O-point for UNC, and now the Colorado O-line, which stunningly did not see the field at all in the second half of their quarterfinal win over Vermont. That was because the defense ran off 10 consecutive breaks. It was a 10-0 run for the Colorado D-line after they trailed Vermont 8-5 at the half and the quarters. They called that the turning point of the tournament. And a deep shot. Hanging in the air, Cleo Phillips, the native of Chapel Hill, runs it down. And Phillips to the end zone for Akane Kleinkampf. We said different styles, Megan. They could not be juxtaposed more clearly in those first 2 points.
Absolutely. What a great throw from Kleinkampf. Incredibly well read by Phillips with a UNC defender at her back. Just kept Evans right behind her. And, you know, Jessie Jones had so many nice things to say about Alex Evans, that she's a really sticky defender. So the fact that Phillips was able to shake free and keep her in the position that was more advantageous for her. And Kleinkampf sprinting down to be the receiver of that goal after having launched the huck. They really want to put their foot on the gas pedal here early in the game. And they connected well that first offensive possession.
1-1 after 2 clean O-line holds. Let's check in on the sideline with Ian.
Well, that O-line hold from Colorado is not something you would have seen from this Quandary program perhaps a season or two prior. This spring, the coaching staff, led by World Game Selection Claire Chastain, installed a new offense with this team. Instead of that more single file vertical stack, they now favor the spread horizontal stack, and that really opened up some of the deeper cutting lanes for the receivers on that set.
Teresa Yu lets it go, and Alex Barnett comes to pick it up. Veteran Rachel Wilmoth on the mark, and Barnett shoots it deep. Youngston Gaskell nearby, and Gaskell comes up with a block.
Gaskell really closing the gap on that long throw from Barnett.
And her upline shot just out of the reach of Wilmoth. So the first two turns of the game as the teams trade giveaways. Teresa Yu was unbelievable yesterday in the semis, shooting this one long. Back of the end zone, but out of bounds. Maya Powell, the Carleton transfer, just ran out of room.
Evan, going into this game, I was really curious to see if Colorado would be capable of disrupting the style of play that UNC typically likes to have. And I know that UNC doesn't often throw it long. Oh.
Teresa Yu taking the disc to the nose.
Oh, ow.
She does get credit for the block, and it looks like she's going to stay in the game.
That's incredible.
Barnett for you. That's bookends, uncharacteristically with a face block.
So true.
The defending champion North Carolina Pleiades women have the early 2-1 lead here in the final. An early 2-1 lead for North Carolina after the bookends from Teresa Yu. Not the usual way to get a block, Megan. The throw from Emma Williamson, Durham, North Carolina native, right into her grill. But no worse for wear. Yu, the junior from Ellington, Connecticut, gets the conversion for Carolina.
I don't know, I would have taken an injury after stopping a disc with my face, but Yu's on a different level.
Grace Connerly pulls for Pleiades. Akane Kleinkampf, Claire Chastain actually coached her in high school. Kleinkampf to Kristen Reed, who has been such a dynamic downfield cutter for Colorado throughout this tournament. Phillips bluffs the backhand. Evans bouncing on the mark again. And the air bounce crosses the sideline, incomplete. Out of the reach of the lunging Reed. First break opportunity for Pleiades coming up.
I like the look, but that is a tough execution.
Connerly initiates. Sydney Rader. Downfield for Evans. Don Colton was making the next cut, but Kristen Reed, beg your pardon, that was Rachel Wilmoth, prevented her from being open. Up the line, Connerly can't get it. It's an impressive backhand if there were no one cutting. Well, there was no one cutting. There is a call on the throw. And it's an uncontested foul. Wow. Looked like Phillips, the thrower, hit Evans the mark on the follow through.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
Good thing he's not on TV or anything.
And Phillips was definitely releasing because the stall count was getting high. Her teammates were shouting on the sideline for her to throw it, and there was no one going.
A break for Colorado. Emma Courtright resets for Abby Galach. Kleinkamp wants the deep ball. Megan Kenny watches it sail out the back. We get some talented cameramen here today. Smooth.
We got a gamer.
Sydney Raider back to pick up the Pleiades.
Raider doesn't waste any time. Boosting it for Alana Holder near the sideline. She makes the catch inbounds. Connerly has Colton going. A couple Pleiades teammates in the end zone, and neither of them can make the catch, but Colton calls the foul.
Be interesting to see this one again. You see Wilmoth coming in from behind, making the D over Colton.
Looks like a great block.
Yeah.
Just in case. Face this way because yeah. Okay, you want to coming to the observer. Foul is being upheld. So it's going to be your disc on over here, and then we'll tap and we can walk it back. Yeah. Yes.
Is that what you saw?
I mean, the first time we looked at the replay, it really looked like Wilmoth came over and got a clean knock at it.
The foul, though, upheld. And the Callahan winner for 2022, Dawn Colton, resets for Sydney Raider. And she nearly turfed it, but Grace Connerly leaves her feet to keep it alive and score the break for Carolina.
Sydney Raider to the end zone. Grace Connerly with a great grab to keep it out. That's a Pleiades score.
One more look at the foul.
With her first break, a 3-1.
Did she brace herself or push Colton in the back? That's the question. Maybe that was the foul, but
That's
she
a
clearly
good
got
point.
the disc on top.
All the same, I have to say, it does look like Colorado is pushing UNC out of the style of offense they like to play just a little bit. You do not often see UNC sending it deep where there is tight coverage. Now, is it going to be enough to withstand the onslaught down the stretch of the game, which is so often the story with UNC? You might be able to hold it close in the first part of the game, but they have so much depth that they can lean into, and they have so many micro adjustments they can make to continue to be excellent throughout the game that you have to have an answer all the way through the end of the game.
Let's check in with Ian.
Well, Evan, all weekend long on this showcase field, we felt the presence of a steady wind moving from left to right across your screen. So in this scenario, Colorado is moving in the upwind direction. The key here for them is to prevent North Carolina from converting the ever-important downwind break. This offense is going to have to fight against those upwind conditions as we see a turnover.
An early break chance. Connerly will pick up. Teresa Yu makes the first cut. She was guarded by Saya Lastra. So it's Sydney Raider. Gets it to Yu, who's just showing off her world-class quickness. Connerly, full extension, but not this time.
Pleiades unable to convert. Just back to turnover.
Looking long for Gaskill off the reset. Full extension. Gaskill comes up just short.
Laundry unable to connect on the deep look. Just over to Pleiades on the turn. Gaskell
Stacy slow to get up.
Looks like Stacy's okay.
A 7th place finish in the women's snowboard cross in the Beijing Olympics this past winter. There's a great block in the backfield. No mercy from Lostra. 2 missed break chances this point for Carolina. Colton lays out in the mark, and then foot blocks! Oh my goodness! Abby Galach just got canceled by Dawn Colton. Looking for Worth, shy of the goal line. Back to Colton. The Callahan connection! Scores again for Carolina. What a sequence for the 2 recent Callahan Award winners from North Carolina. Dawn Colton lays out, gets back up, and then flashes the right foot to cancel that swing from Abby Galach. And then Worth on the deep shot, a quick reset for Colton. And the 2020 and the 2022 Callahan winners collaborate for another UNC break.
I mean, just the elite level of ultimate played by those 2 was on display at that point. Colton reading Galach so well, putting her foot out just in the nick of time. And then when Ann Worth dished that throw to Colton, she literally ran a circle around Phillips to get open for the quick score.
So when we say that Ann Worth runs circles around her opponents, we're saying that
it is
literally.
literal.
High release backhand. That is an unreal throw from Akane Kleinkampf over that UNC zone defense. Cliff Phillips, one of 3 North Carolinians on this Colorado roster. And Wilmoth on the doorstep, and that's the conversion that Colorado needed. Emma Courtright has the score to snap the 3-0 UNC run.
Well, Colorado is known for being daring with their throws, and it really enables them to see the field differently. I mean, what a put from Kleinkopf. Executed so well, recognizing that Phillips had space over UNC defenders. Just keeping an eye on options down the stretch. UNC unable to catch up and put meaningful defense on that would have stopped this connection.
Big time throws that point from Colorado.
Yeah.
To set up Courtright for the score.
I asked Colorado coaching staff, Cassie Swafford and Christina Mickle, you know, what was the difference between their pre-quarters loss to UCSD back in December, 15-11 they lost, to where they are now. In addition to players like Reed, Gaskill, Galach, they really spent the season trying to develop depth down the roster. Oftentimes at tournament, they would have completely equal playing time, and that gave players all over the roster an opportunity to grow, and that growth into their roles, into their systems, has enabled them to find themselves in the championship game this Nationals.
They're back within 2. Worth back to Barnett. Barnett has been such a steady quarterback for this Carolina offense. Gets the dishy back. We know UNC can score quickly, but there's also points when it doesn't look like they're in any particular hurry. They're fine just calmly working it down the field.
They'll do it in as few or as many throws as it takes.
Ooh, no. Teresa Yu took a disc to the face earlier. This will likely be a card assessed to Colorado for the illegal contact.
Personal misconduct foul being issued on that dangerous play.
Just a dangerous play there, and Emma Williamson picks up the yellow card. That's a personal misconduct foul. You get 2 yellow cards in a game, just like soccer, you are ejected. Jesse Jones out checking on Teresa Yu. Jesse was telling me a story earlier today about the East Coast U20 tryouts when Teresa Yu and the rest of the competitors, they just put them on the field and had them do a race just to see. They didn't time it, just to see relatively who was faster. They said Teresa won by a large margin, and it didn't even look like she was trying. She's like, what did I do to deserve this in the finals?
Hope that she is okay after taking a brief break.
Back to action. Colton came in for you. So out there with the Carolina offense. Youngston Barnett in the backfield, joined by Colton, who leaves her feet so effortlessly. Oh, Ella Youngst had a great cut, but a good mark on Colton, prevented the throw going up line. Quick little give and go. Ann Worth gets involved. And into the end zone, it's Jessica Wu. I mean, I'm just kind of giggling because they're running this 3-handler movement in the backfield with the cutter staying downfield. Ann Worth, who you think you might want to have involved in the disc movement, she wasn't involved until very late in that possession.
Yeah, that's one thing I really admire about the UNC end zone sets, is that the downfielders really stay out of the way until they're sure they're needed. There is absolutely no clogging, even though they have about 3 people working within a very tight space. I have to say, that was about as impressive of a defensive effort from Colorado as I have seen against UNC this tournament.
And you saw Stanford give North Carolina some issues in the first game Friday morning.
Yeah, the difference there is that Stanford was very committed to their zone, especially down towards the end zone. You know, when you think a lot of teams tend to shift to person defense, Stanford stayed within their zone set. And that is when it did seem to constrict a little bit more, because UNC likes to work so close to the end zone. That's when the field was compressed and most of the defenders were in that space. But it still seemed as though UNC was able to find that open pocket in the end zone a little more quickly.
Let's go to Ian.
Something that was visible at field level, guys, was just how aggressive Colorado's poaches out of the stack were against that triangle. So in essence, they were doing their best to create a 4-on-3 defensive advantage in that small front of end zone space, as opposed to most other teams facing that defensive scenario and just going person for person 3-on-3.
And that's a logical adjustment to make, but North Carolina still handled it well. Reed downfield for Kenny. Galach swings it out of the reach of Kleinkampf. This will be the 6th break chance for the UNC D-line They're 2 for 5 so far in the half. Notice the spacing downfield from this D-line offense. How they set up resets. First one isn't there, and Connerly unable to make the catch. It was smacked down. Kleinkampf the block, looking to the end zone, and that was caught. Cy Lostra waited till the last moment, but kept it up for the Colorado score.
A lofty put from Kleinkampf, and Lostra almost looked like she misread it.
Colorado hanging tight, down 5-3 to Carolina. Cy Lostra has stepped into a handling role for Colorado this year, but she can still make plays downfield, Megan. As you said, misread this ever so slightly, but made the recovery. Let's check in with Ian down on the sidelines.
Evan, Cy Lostra has had an incredible 2022 campaign. Colorado has been the victim of multiple knee and other injuries over the course of the year, depleting their handler core. Bailey Shigley and Annie Scott suffering some of those injuries, but in their absence, Lostra has transitioned from more of a downfield cutter to a handler and filled some of that role at regionals and beyond. But right there on that goal, you see her downfield cutting routes paying dividends.
Heck of an adjustment there by Erica Birdsong. Back to Alex Barnett. Powell for Youngst. Ann Worth and her yellow hat. It's hard to miss. Barnett, Worth, and Youngst in the backfield here, and it's Worth to a diving Barnett in the end zone. Third assist of the half for Ann Worth. She's also scored a goal, this one though for Barnett to make the highlight reel.
I love it. Just such flexible players. You think of Barnett just being a chilly offensive force for UNC. But when the going gets tough, she'll lay out to make the score.
North Carolina entered this tournament as the #1 seed. They are currently 37-0 on the season. Closest game in pool play was the 12-9 victory over Stanford. British Columbia gave Carolina a battle in quarters. And then UNC eliminating the Burning Skirts from UCSB in semis for the second straight nationals. It also happened in December when we were in Norco, California for that unique December college national experience. Certainly feels right to be back on Memorial Day weekend. Out of our screen, Stacey Gaskell just ran to the sideline with like a big water bucket and sprayed some folks in the crowd, and I think they appreciate it because it's like feels like 88 out here right now in Milwaukee.
Yeah, the weather has been quite dynamic this college nationals. Bundled up on the very first day of pool play.
It's like low 50s and chilly.
One thing that has been constant, though, has definitely been the wind.
Never been unplayably strong.
Correct.
But usually a factor.
Always about 12 miles per hour.
Smooth offense for Colorado. To the goal line, and the unmarked thrower. Cy Lostra dishes for the goal. It's Kristen Reed.
to the end zone for Kristen Reed and the primary score.
Only one turnover in the last 5 points. The offenses have really started to click.
Colorado working their short game, taking all those open shots, and look at this. Reed is standing still thinking that she's open. Lostra initiates her with that toss saying, hey, Dawn Colton is right beside you. You gotta move. And with that one toss, Reed activates and gets open on command.
Colorado Quandary entered as the 2 seed. 15-12 against the 7 seed Tufts. No other game in pool play closer than 7. And then it looks like they routed Vermont, and in the second half they did, but Kennedy McCarthy's Vermont Ruckus squad had an 8-5 halftime lead before Colorado delivered one of the most memorable second half runs in the history of this great tournament. 10 consecutive breaks. Stacey Gaskell was on the field for all 10. I think she launched all 10 pulls, which was a huge factor on a breezy Sunday morning. And it was breathtaking to watch.
It was, and you know, Vermont continued to fight, but it was clear that Colorado had kicked it up a notch, had tightened down lines slightly, and of course, Gaskell's pulls, we cannot emphasize what an impact that had, enabling Colorado to constantly push Vermont deep into the end zone. Such a scary place to start, especially when you have the likes of Gaskell, Wilmoth running down, ready to mount a defensive effort.
Gaskell getting ready to launch the pull. Great crowd on hand here on Memorial Day Monday at the Eline Soccer Park in Milwaukee. This is the women's final. The men's final also feature University of North Carolina. The men's team, Dark Side, will take on the top seed in the men's division, Brown University. Brownie in motion. What a program they've got in Providence. And it's not just a recent thing. Brown won championships in the early 2000s, the mid-2000s, and then back in the winner's circle in 2019 in Round Rock, Texas. After the Colorado timeout, it's Carolina on 0. Barnett to Worth. Powell back for Barnett. And Worth again. Carolina stays patient. They're so tough to stop. Kristen Reed was ever so close to a block on Dawn Colton, but still a clean catch and a pick called away from that completion. Apparently it was not too far away because the throw's going back to Worth. Hard to believe Ann Worth did not play Ultimate before coming to North Carolina. Grew up in Asheville. Youngst over to Barnett. And it's great downfield defense from Colorado. They're slowing UNC down. But are they just delaying the inevitable? Allie Riley has the goal for Pleiades.
Colorado had some really great defensive positioning that particular point. UNC just so smart in recognizing the potential danger that constantly lay ahead. You know, in the beginning of that point, Youngst was setting up a deep throw. And Barnett recognized that Gaskell was lurking in the deep space, thought better of it. Now that smart, very focused look downfield to see who is where on the defense enabled them to find tight openings in the open lane. Just working it up almost seamlessly.
And you know what? It was almost like Allie Riley lulled May Heck to sleep there, because Riley was one of those cutters just kind of staying out of the way. And then at the last moment, just that quick first step, and you lose concentration for that split second, and you get beat.
That's a great point. There is not a lot of needless movement from the UNC downfielders. They really do pick their cuts well, and enables them to work with so much space in that short field. There's not a lot of clogging ever when UNC is on offense.
Colorado on the move. Britta Bergstrom. Back in the hands of Phillips. Here's Kleinkampf. Galach back to Phillips. Determined to break that mark, and she does, right near the sideline. And then Kleinkampf saw the lane, but it's too far in front of Courtright, who did not anticipate the exact same decision that the thrower made.
Before that throw, Colorado had exhibited a high level of patience themselves on offense, not taking those daring shots we're so accustomed to them taking.
High stall, half field Huck, intercepted by Courtright. Looked pretty clear that Colorado had it first.
We will see.
Neither one wants to let go.
Yeah. We'll see if the observers saw what we saw.
If it stays here, then we'll stay here too. So.
Okay, do you want to come to me, or do you want to leave it contested and send it back? Okay, coming to the observer, Black caught it first.
It's 3
Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
UNC now just 2 for 7 on break chances. Colorado had the first couple break chances of the game, but could not capitalize, and now another opportunity for UNC. Remember, the game was 1-1, and the Colorado D-line had 2 chances against the UNC offense. Neither one was a lengthy, sustained possession. Connerly surveys the field, needs a reset, squeezes it through. Deep shot was intended for Colton, but didn't have enough length on it. Easily intercepted by Rachel Wilmoth, the 30-year-old grad student. One of the many grad students on this Colorado team, bringing a ton of experience. Wilmoth overthrows Courtright. Megan, you can feel the crowd on Colorado's side. They want this to be a close game. And these are the connections that need to work if Quandary is going to be competitive into the second half.
The wind downfield is very unforgiving for those lofty, high-release passes. We have seen 3 fail to connect for Colorado as Bergstrom gets a D for her team.
6 turns on the point, most in the half. Dawn Colton, are you kidding me? Colton's going deep, and that's more of a punt than a throw that had a chance to be caught.
Colton reads it well and lays out with her left backhand, swatting it away as she does.
This will be the 5th break chance of this particular point for Pleiades as they try to take half 8-4. And Sydney Rader takes a timeout.
With possession for Pleiades, Sydney takes a timeout. That's North Carolina's first timeout of the first half.
Dawn Colton, 1 assist in this first half, known for her high-flying defense. Yesterday, all those highlights from throughout her career earned her the respect of her peers to the tune of a Callahan Award, the Heisman Trophy of Ultimate, voted on by all players in the college division. And a quick congratulations from all of her teammates. And how about the UNC men's team? It was halftime of their semifinal. It was an 8-7 game on serve against Colorado. They were not busy strategizing. They were busy rooting for Dawn Colton and celebrating her success.
Yeah, that was over. The Callahan is always an incredibly wonderful moment to watch. But seeing UNC still had work to do, being so invested on the sideline, wanting to support their friend, was really spectacular.
We're chatting with Jesse Jones about what the Pleiades squad is going to look like next year. They're only losing 3 players. Most of the team could or should be back. Colton makes that catch with the defender, Rachel Wilmoth, right in her pocket, literally. Colton, an ambitious throw, and Colorado is ready for it. Cleo Phillips with a block.
Ambitious throw is right. I am seeing more gut shots from UNC than I think I ever have.
And another deep throw to the end zone where no receivers were waiting. When you say gut shots, what do you mean?
Just wanting to will the score with the throw. They are taking one quick look upfield and thinking, I am going to make this work. As opposed to demonstrating the patience that they so frequently have throughout this tournament, throughout the season.
A team that is so well known for its discipline, becoming unglued just a little bit. Of course, they're still up 7-4. Near the sideline, it's caught by Alana Holder. And despite missing on 5 break chances, the 6th of the point and the 12th of the half might allow UNC to take a 4-goal lead into the break. Connerly with a high stall count, throws it. It bladed too much. And this marathon struggle of a 12th point continues. Megan, I don't know about you. That disc popped up in the air by Holder. It does find the ground. These are the moments where I wish you could take a timeout and sub players onto the field.
I totally understand that. I mean, we are witnessing tired decisions right now.
And tired execution.
This active rider on the Pleiades turn. We have an injured player.
Well, each team's going to get one sub here because of the injury. Emma Courtright steps off. Kristen Reed takes over for Colorado. Ann Worth coming on the field for UNC. So another timeout, but barring other injuries, there can't be any more substitutions. The second timeout of the point. Each team has turned it 7 times. And if Colorado scores, they're right there.
Yeah, a game within 2 is certainly not out of the question. They're doing a great job of disrupting the kinds of offense that UNC wants to run. And again, like the ethos of Colorado is that they're willing to outgrit the other team. But against UNC, you have to be a little bit cleaner. The opportunities they've had going downwind, I mean, let's be reasonable. UNC is doing an amazing job guarding the open space. It sometimes seems the only option they have is to go over the top on the break side. But 3 turnovers on the break side with high release passes. You've got to correct those errors.
Colorado gets situated. Certainly looks like Kristen Reed is on stage ready to cut. Ann Worth in her yellow hat, ready to defend. Connerly on the mark. Kleinkampf with the disc for Quandry. Looking for Reed deep. Colton there defensively. Colton swats it away.
Dawn Colton had set up behind the stack, prepared for this kind of put. Just lines herself up in between the 2 intended receivers. Swats it away.
Eighth break chance of the point for Pleiades. Worth has it in the middle. Connerly. Nope.
Great reset defense from Galach and Lostra to force that punt.
And a pick called to give everyone a breather.
Saying 4.
Again, there were 14 total turns in the first 11 points. There have been 16 turns on this point. Kind of out of nowhere. Kleinkampf to the end zone. Colorado is within 2.
North Carolina 7, Colorado 5.
And that high release backhand worked because Bergstrom was in perfect position. She didn't have to run onto it. As you noticed, it was sinking quickly. Her teammates patting her on the back, high-fiving her, not only because she scored the goal, but because she ended that epically long battle.
Kane Kleinkampf likes that high release backhand. It's fun to watch. While North Carolina women going for their second straight title, the North Carolina men are going for their second straight title. It's their 4th straight year in the championship game. Their 6th time in the last 8 years that Dark Side is in the finals. But they are the underdog heading into tonight. Brown is the #1 seed, and I think considered by most to be a slight favorite over the North Carolina men.
Yeah, Brown against their game, in their game against Pitt last night just looked like an unstoppable force. I mean, the person defense that Pitt was putting on was so tight. Yet Brown was still able to maneuver the disc seemingly with ease.
North Carolina was in a tight game at half and then blew past Colorado 7-2 after halftime. Worth unable to make the catch. And for the first time since the score was 1-1, Colorado has a chance to break. And what a turning point this would be. Into the hands of Stacey Gaskell. Looking for the inside flick, it's over Colton. It's floating, it's caught! What a throw from Gaskell to Rose Bransford, the freshman. And just like that, it's a one-goal game.
As soon as the disc was in Gaskell's hand, Colton knew she was gonna look to send it to the end zone. Colton attempts to fly in and swat away. The wind lifting it ever so slightly out of her reach. And Bransford left completely alone. Had plenty of time to read that disc into her hands. You saw her recognize Colton was gone. She had time.
There are 3 freshmen on this Colorado roster, all of them making a big impact here in the finals. You got Emma Williamson from Durham, North Carolina, Abby Galach from Boulder, and out of the Twin Cities scene in Minnesota, it's the Minneapolis native Rose Bransford who scores the first break of the final for Colorado Quandary. What's Jesse Jones thinking right now? They had 8 chances to take an 8-4 lead into the half. And now Colorado coming downwind on defense, looking to tie this thing up. You can see the skip and the step of every single Quandary defender. Lostra with the block. Emma Williamson to Stacey Gaskell to tie the game.
Look at Lostra flip the angle of Barnett's cut to make that D. And then Gaskell initiates an up-the-line cut of her own. That Birdsong is just a little too slow to react to.
We are back on serve, Megan.
This is incredible.
Colorado 2 for 4 on break chances. North Carolina 2 for 14 on break chances, but we're even. Claire Chastain told me that she was looking forward to this matchup because she thought they had some tricks up their collective sleeve to try and rattle the unravelable North Carolina Pleiades team, and we're seeing that here.
We are indeed. I mean, their person defense has been spectacular. They have really taken away reset options from UNC, and that is UNC's bread and butter. They love to work it amongst the handlers as many times as necessary before something opens up downfield. And Colorado has been so bothersome that they've forced some throws to coverage downfield, and Colorado has eaten them up.
Barnett looking for Worth. It's incomplete. And as crazy as this is to say, Quandary has the disc with a chance to take half. Gaskell unable to catch it on the second effort. Barnett again. Hits Worth with the inside flick. Reed playing unbelievable sticky defense on Ellie Younks downfield, but Worth gets free. And Ann Worth takes it to half on serve for Pleiades. This will be an interesting halftime for both teams because UNC's got the slim lead, but Colorado has all the momentum right now.
Yeah, that Gaskill turnover certainly took the wind out of the sails, but didn't stop their tight person defense. But right in front of the end zone, I mean, this is where UNC is so comfortable making these little triangle-shaped cuts.
Let's go down to Ian.
Thanks, Evan. Joined by Elizabeth Parker. Elizabeth, your squad had a 7-4 lead, and then Colorado rattled off 3 in a row. What was the key to your offense stabilizing and getting that last hold there?
Same as ever, playing our game. It's windy. There's a lot of factors we can't control. Just finding back in ourselves to play the game that we know we can play.
Your D-line went 2 for 14 on break opportunities in the first half. What can this group do to improve its efficiency in the second half?
Honestly, all I hear from that is 14 break opportunities. That D-line is generating so many blocks, working so hard, and making so many of those quandary O holds just extremely tough grinds. And we're just going to keep doing that. We're going to keep making them work as hard as they possibly can, and hopefully harder than they possibly can to put those in.
Any updates you can share with us on Teresa Yu's status and her ability to return in the second half?
She's getting water and shade right now, as we all are going to during this halftime.
Elizabeth, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Evan, back up to you.
Hey, thanks, Ian. An 8-7 game on a hot Memorial Day Monday in Milwaukee. The top 2 teams in the country in a battle here in the women's final. Welcome back to the women's championship game. A quick look at the first half scoring summary. 7 different members of Quandary find the end zone. Meanwhile, for Pleiades, arguably the deeper team, but more relying on Ann Worth in that first half. 4 assists, 2 goals for the 2020 Callahan Award winner, who has since torn her ACL and battled back and returned to the field in her top form. Officially 86 degrees, might feel a few degrees warmer than that. And the breeze is refreshing for the fans. For the people with a disc in their hands, it can be a little flummoxing at times.
Yeah, it's had an impact on today's game, most notably the several score attempts that Colorado had downwind. The wind just pushed it down and away from their intended receivers.
Colorado with an important downwind possession to start the second half. Reed looking for a reset. Wasn't there, and the throw off Gaskill's hands. Beg your pardon, it was deflected by Kenny. That's a really difficult, nice throw by Sydney Rader. Colton right back to Rader. Every UNC break for the most part has been revolving around those 3 players. And that one through Holder's grasp. The wind is making that Frisbee flutter just a little bit with every throw. Colton intercepts quickly for Connerly. Into the wind. Colton double teamed. There's a call on the field. Wilmoth and Colton have been battling all game long. Looked like there was contact, Megan, from both the front and the back.
Okay. Are you also taking an injury? Okay. Okay, 11 is taking an injury. She is saying that she felt that she got hit from the back in the head. Do you contest?
I honestly don't think I didn't feel like I hit her. I felt like I hit the disc. Maybe I hit you on the way down, but I think definitely both like backpedaling. And I'm like you're both going in that direction.
Okay. Okay. So we can agree. We can agree to contest it and send it back.
Treating it as a contested. Oh, are we?
You got it.
I have no foul from the front. No, just
Okay. But 11 is subbing. It's coming to the observer. No foul.
Wow.
No foul. But stay here, please. Stay here, please.
Eagles, what do you think?
Well, first, I do have to credit everyone for attempting to go straight up. But Wilmoth's momentum did carry her in to Colton.
That might not be a foul by the rules, but there was contact from the front and the back, and well, Colorado gives it right back to UNC. Goodness gracious.
Austra's defense this game has been utterly phenomenal. She's gotten 2 big Ds. And besides that, she has been playing just some shut-down, reset handler defense.
Colorado has turned this game into a grind, and Quandary has tied it to start the second half. Phillips to Reed. 8-all.
Certainly not without a battle, but Colorado loves a good fight. Lastra sneaking in to steal it away from the handlers yet again. And then watch as Reed just does a shifty little move here to get herself open for Phillips. Sneaking ahead of the defensive prowess of Lauder.
North Carolina now 2 for 17 on break chances, Megan. Missing 3 opportunities on that last point. Phillips with her second assist as we check in with Ian Toner.
Well, as you take a look at this North Carolina offensive line, Teresa Yu is back out there for her first point since taking that injury. Jesse Jones told me as the second half was starting, she's feeling okay and she's going to give it a go and see how she feels.
She's an important member of this team and this O-line. Big pull into the wind from Stacey Gaskell. Barnett met by Emma Capra. Hard to imagine where this O-line would be without Alex Barnett. She's been an every other target for much of the game in these windy conditions. I'd say the same thing about Ann Worth for that matter.
Yeah, Ann Worth absolutely electric today.
Back to Barnett. And Jungst somehow lost her defender in the end zone to put UNC back up 1.
Jungst didn't even need to move. Worth hitting Barnett. Jungst standing still after having shaken Bergstrom over to the open side.
Well, Jungst has beaten so many defenders to the front cone. That little button hook worked that time. Just halting the cut, floating back to the middle, and finding that pocket. First goal of the game for Ella Jungst, who played travel soccer her whole life through 8th grade. Became frustrated with soccer, found Ultimate, attended HB Woodlawn where Ultimate was the only sport, and the rest is history. Another injury update down in the field with Ian.
Just make a note that Dawn Colton is back out here for this next defensive point for North Carolina after taking the injury on her foul call just a few points ago.
It's good to see. Not surprised. This is the championship game after all. UNC coming down with a zone defense look. So far, Colorado has handled that zone pretty well. Kristen Reed. Back to Phillips and Kenny. Phillips for the end zone, incomplete. Just rose an inch too far for Akane Kleinkampf.
And you know why she lifted the lip of that disc? So that the wind wouldn't push it down. But it sailed up a little too quickly.
The wind is certainly impacting things, Megan, but Carolina's D-line offense is out of sorts right now. Elizabeth Parker told Ian at halftime, all she heard was the number of break chances, not the number of conversions, but 2 for 18 is a big number, especially when you consider that Colorado's 2 for 5.
It is a big number, and it's an exhausting number. They have a lot of their top players out there just grinding it out, getting more and more exhausted with every failed opportunity.
There's a call. It's a stall. Looks like Carolina's going to have the disc here either way.
Stall is called.
And the stall looks like it's going to be upheld.
It looks like it actually was a stall. And of course, there's a quandary turnover.
Sarah Combs, the sophomore from Chapel Hill, counting that stall. Again, tremendous defense from Colorado. Big swing out of the reach of Milena Jojic.
He's unable to connect on the swing. Just back to Quandary. Kleinkampf over to pick up.
Phillips had the win just take it away, but it bounces in the air to Kleinkampf. And a pick called. I'll quickly restart with Connerly on the mark.
Oh my goodness!
We are tied at 9. The officials started to signal goal, then they stopped. What are they waiting for? Here we go. Kristen Reed ties it up again.
All tied up at 9.
Can't state it enough. Colorado's defense is really forcing some of these missed throws from UNC. How did she do that?
It's a heck of an adjustment.
Clearly expecting it to go up to the front corner. She manages to stop her speedy cut, slide to the side, and snag that disc.
Third goal for Reed. There were a lot of people that thought North Carolina was going to walk all over Colorado in this game. And frankly, it looked like they were going to take an 8-4 lead into the half. And here we are tied at 9. On serve with Stacey Gaskill getting set to launch another pull. Good cut from Ellie Youngs to get free. And through the hands of Teresa Yu. Colorado has not led yet in the game. Hecht gets it to Capra. Gaskill not in yet. And to the end zone, it's knocked away. Another stall called on the mark. And Colorado comes up empty in the red zone with a chance to go in front for the first time.
Got to give credit to UNC's red zone defense there. Gaskill was out of options. Kind of surprised she just didn't put a forehand flick over the defense. Of course, she was trying to be disciplined and find an open cutter.
That's a tough grab for you. Worth downfield for Youngst. Looking for the reset with Barnett. Worth to Barnett. On the doorstep. This is a tough duo to stop, Megan. Worth and Barnett are putting Pleiades on their collective backs right now. It's tight in the second half, 10-9, UNC leads by 1. It's a game to 15 and North Carolina leads 10-9 here in the second half.
Here we see UNC guarding the front corner of their end zone with everything they've got. They are taking away all options. Gaskill lets loose a lofty little backhand, knowing that the stall count is high and does not contest the stall count. And UNC with a clinical march down the field, and Worth showing how valuable she is downfield. Her quick feet, her sharp movements make her so difficult to guard that she can get open by pushing her defenders on her heels, then pausing, finding that open lane.
Dropped on the first under of the point. Wilmoth. Don't see that very often. Connerly looking for Rader. And then Worth gets free, and the pass was a little behind her. Off her hands, back to Colorado. Phillips over to Galach. Kleinkampf. Both teams continuing to grind on this hot Milwaukee turf with a championship hanging in the balance. Oh,
wow.
That was deflected, but caught anyway. Colorado, so close. It's a missed opportunity, though.
Yeah, and they did such a nice job after Galach manages to secure that near bobble. Such a nice job working it wide in the field.
Evans stumbles, pops right back up, and resets for Powell. Connerly lets it rip. Dawn Colton is going. She's got steps on Gaskill. She can't make the catch. Inches away from the upwind break. Colton comes up empty.
It looked all but certain. The wind pushing it just out of the reach of the 2022 Callahan Award winner.
That's what it was. The win was the difference there. And Worth defensively smacks it down at the other end on the deep shot intended for Phillips.
I don't know, maybe if she had kept running for a couple more steps, she might have been able to secure that.
Third break chance of the point for Carolina. This is their 22nd break chance of the game. Colton has it across midfield to Connerly. Worth making that next cut. Good defense by Phillips. Worth comes underneath in the tight space for the disc, and then miscommunication with Powell on the doorstep.
Frankly, I have been continuously surprised that there aren't more of those kinds of miscommunications from UNC, because so often their offense runs on those tiny little passes.
Another deep bomb. Rachel Wilmoth is there!
Yes!
Colorado Quandary ties it up at 10.
Again, that's so typically the bread and butter for UNC. And then Wilmoth goes and goes and goes to get that score for Colorado. Heck of a rip from Phillips. Puts enough spin and enough space under that disc for her intended receiver.
What a bomb. And Wilmoth, the 30-year-old grad student, runs it down for Colorado. Well, it's been frustrating a little bit here in Milwaukee that we haven't had a ton of games go down to the wire. Across the two divisions, there have only been 6 games decided by 1 goal out of 100 so far in the tournament.
It is incredible how things have gone to chalk, and convincingly so.
Went back and did the research. Over the last 5 years, approximately 12% of games have been decided by 1 at men's and women's college nationals. So it's basically about half that this year, which basically means we're due here in the finals. Defense on the underneath from Rose Bransford. Colorado has another chance to take its first lead. Quandary 2 for 7. Break chances so far. That's a heck of a swing to get it off the sideline for Gaskell. Hecht, and it was tipped by Barnett, who brings her D-line experience onto the Carolina O-line. And it comes up huge right there. This is truly anyone's game right now, Megan. Near the sideline, Worth keeps it alive. It's Powell near the end zone. Back to Barnett. Sets a pivot a yard away from the goal line. Youngst forced out of the end zone to make the catch. It's almost as if Carolina realized that their spacing was poor and collectively reset things down in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I think that is the first time that I've seen crowding in the front corner of the UNC end zone.
Now on the mark, gives everyone a breather. Teresa Yu back for Alex Barnett. Ellie Youngst. What are you seeing from the Colorado defense making life so tough here?
Super impressed with Abby Galach on Ella Youngst. Step for step.
Like she's glued to her. Barnett gets the assist. And it's Erica Birdsong scoring her second goal.
Yeah, Barnett played on the D-line except for the last week before Nationals last year. And since then has come to just seem like she was born for the offensive line. But as a reminder, she was on the D-line because of her capable defense. Coming up big for UNC there.
What a game this has become. Each team still with just 2 breaks. Both came back-to-back. It was a 1-1 game. The Carolina hold made it 2-1, and then 2 breaks made it 4-1 early. And it felt like it might be a Pleiades runaway. They had literally 8 chances to break, to take half at 8-4, could not convert. A hold made it 7-5, and then back-to-back quandary breaks tied it at 7. And despite a whole slew of opportunities for each team since then, Megan, we've been on serve since. Tied at 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. Looking for 11s. Wilmoth's deep shot finds the ground. To Colton. Raider back for Powell. Is it just me, or does it seem like Maya Powell's playing every single point here in the second half for Carolina? She has not come off the field very much. Back to Holder, and a stoppage. Carolina looking for its second consecutive national championship. Colorado women trying to avoid another second place finish here in Milwaukee, just like 4 years ago. They were big underdogs that year too, against Dartmouth. Raider makes a tough grab. Colton's going. And the throw missed on the release. Carolina hasn't had the upwind huck in this game. And there's Colton with the underneath block. It's almost like she wants to take off deep again, but Carolina needs to prove that they can throw it. Connerly has the best hucks on the D-line. Off Powell's hands and out of bounds. Another missed connection for Colorado. In a one-goal game here in the final, every turnover is a swing of momentum. Who can seize control? Colton with a rising stall count gets the reset. And here's Powell in the middle again. Rader. And I think away from the disc, there's a pick.
It's back one
Back
throw.
one throw, back one throw.
Over there. So you're,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah, so it's not going to
This goes back to Sydney Rader. Defense resets after the pick.
A long pause for seemingly a pretty inconsequential call right there.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure everyone on the field is appreciating
I was
the
just going to say, I'm sure there's no rush to start again.
Out of the reach of Powell. 6 turns on this point. It's an 0 point for Colorado as they look to hold and tie the game again. The latch. And Rader got a piece of it.
The latch telegraphed it what look she wanted. Rader read it and stuck out her foot.
And just tremendous play by Rader. We are seeing both teams, Megan, do a lot of really good little things on the mark to make these throws more difficult. We continue to see North Carolina with this good disc movement in the backfield. We haven't always seen them connect with their downfield cutters. And you throw it so many times in these windy conditions with the pressure defense, you begin to crack. This is starting to feel a little bit like that point at 7-4 in the first half.
Yeah, it is looking exhausting. And their throws are starting to show it. Finally, we have a timeout called by Rader to give everyone on the field a little bit of a break.
11-10 North Carolina leads. It's a game to 15. Although we are about 6 minutes away from the soft cap, which would add 1 to the higher team score. And we may not get to 15. Coming up at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN3 and re-airing at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU, the men's final. North Carolina Dark Side and Brown University, Brownie in motion. Each school looking for its 4th national championship. And look, North Carolina across all athletics. I mean, we saw the women's lacrosse team this weekend win another national title, and The field hockey program under Karen Shelton in Chapel Hill has won a gazillion championships. Hubert Davis led the upset-minded Tar Heel men's basketball team to the finals before they ultimately succumbed to Kansas. Courtney Banghart's women's basketball team contended for a championship this year as that program continues to rise. The athletics in Chapel Hill, I mean, don't get me started on Anson Dorrance's women's soccer program. But Ultimate Frisbee matches up with all of them in 2022 in terms of how they compare to their peers. After the timeout, Colton. That's the 10th turnover of the point, 5 per side. And we continue.
Coming into this game, UNC averaged about 19 turns per game. Colorado 25 for the tournament.
Colton was blocked on the under by Wilmoth, but she called a foul. Colton looked like she's ready to take another sub for an injury. And they rescind the call. That's so close.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like she went through her a little bit. But the call rescinded. Colton stays in the game. Setting the mark on Phillips. To the end zone. Kleinkampf can't get there. Megan, what are the players on the field thinking right now?
I mean, I'm sure they have to be thinking how exhausted they are. I know this is the culmination of their season, the culmination of everything they've been working towards. But it is hot and they have been running for so long.
Carolina takes its last timeout, their second timeout called this point. I'll just state again, I wish in the next edition of the rules we decide to allow substitutions on timeouts. They'd become more valuable, they'd become more strategic, and it would be better for the spectator experience because we're watching exhausted players grind right now, and there's something compelling to it, but we also want to see the success.
Right. Both teams having thrown so many more turnovers than they had at any other previous game so far. And you have to think that the caliber of both programs would have led to more turnovers. But this is just an exhausting display.
In the mid-80s with a steady breeze. Whoever wins the game is not going to care too much about the turnover count.
Undoubtedly not.
North Carolina trying to finish an undefeated season, trying to get to 38-0.
Lostra again with phenomenal heads-up D.
And quick turns after both timeouts. Can Colorado finally finish this point? Reed is open, but the throw is behind her. And it was deflected by Kaylin Lauder for Carolina. Unreal. Holder going deep, that's denied. Rachel Wilmoth feels like she has 5 Ds on this point. The soft cap horn just went off, so after this point, it'll be either 11-all, championship at 12, or it'll be 12-10 Carolina if they can break, and we'll play to 13. Sydney Rader called a pick. Not sure she was within 10 feet.
You called pick here. So that's. She would have been in the area, but.
I kind of think it's got to come back.
Yeah.
I think it's got to come back. Yeah.
Okay. So do we only leave it a pick and send it back, or come to us for a ruling? Okay. A ruling. It is a pick. It's going to go back to the thrower.
Yeah, over here. Over here. Can we agree on a stall?
You can feel the exhaustion from everyone on the field right now. And yet they continue to grind. Kenny. Resets for Galach. Tumbling down Phillips. To the end zone. Kenny there. Universe upcoming in the women's final. 11-all. Next point wins. We're coming back. It's the first time in nearly a quarter century that the women's final reaches universe point. Last time it happened was 1998. Stanford over Carleton, 19-18. But that goal from Megan Kenny brings us to 11-all, game to 12. The universe line for Pleiades: Riley, Youngst, Colton, Yu, Worth, Powell, and Barnett. Quandary counters with Reed, Wilmoth, Phillips, Galach, Bergstrom, Gaskill, and Kleinkampf. Gaskill to pull, 1 point for the title. Here we go. Youngst on the under. To Worth at midfield. Barnett. Youngst defender fell down. Galach recovers, gets back to her. Barnett to Worth. Gaskill right there defensively. Back to Barnett. Will North Carolina Pleiades win it all again? Youngst for Anworth. On the brink for Pleiades. Great switch there. Colorado's defense has mucked up Carolina around the goal line all game long. But this could be the winner. It's too high and incomplete off Colton's fingertips. Quandary has a chance to steal a national title away from North Carolina. Gaskill had it knocked away, but she called foul. Did Barnett get it cleanly?
I couldn't tell if Barnett's hand was underneath or over Gaskill's.
Okay. Foul contest.
Foul contested.
Foul contest. Contest. All right, so let's come back to where we were.
Interesting, neither player wanted to go to the observer, so it goes back to Klein Kampf on the goal line. Powell on the mark, and that throw off the body of Wilmoth. Another chance for North Carolina. It's a game to 12 here in the women's title game. Alex Barnett to Ella Youngst. Trying to find a lane to squeeze it in. Barnett does it! It's a goal! And North Carolina goes back to back! The Seven Sisters from Chapel Hill are national champions again.
The presence of Colton forcing that D. And UNC looking more poised this offensive possession as they march ahead of Colorado's absolutely smothering defense to squeeze it into where else but the front corner of the end zone.
What a game. 12-11, North Carolina by the skin of their teeth, national champions.
The 2022 USA Ultimate College Championships are presented by Discraft, home of the UltraStar, the official disc of USA Ultimate, your place for all your ultimate and disc golf needs. Visit discraft.com. We make flying discs fun. And by Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com.
Colorado made North Carolina work as hard as they've had to do all season, but it's an undefeated 38-0 run for North Carolina Pleiades with a 12-11 win of the final. Our Discraft play of the game, Megan, was the clinching goal for North Carolina.
One question I had going into this game was UNC capable of fighting if Colorado gave them a test? And they absolutely were. They were taken out of their rhythm. The common looks they like weren't always there, but they proved strong down the end.
Pleiades goes just 2 for 30 on break chances, but that doesn't matter. They are still the national champions for the second consecutive year. Coming up next, High School Lacrosse Nationals with Mike Corey and Bob Schreiber. For Megan Tormey and Ian Toner, Evan Lepler saying so long from Milwaukee.
And we welcome you to the Geico High School Lacrosse National.